The ocean was silent. Miles below the surface, there was no light, no sound, only crushing pressure and endless black. But in the darkness, something ancient waited. On the deck of the UN Oceanic Research Vessel, Mariana 7, Dr. Lena Worth stared at the sonar screen. Her fingers froze. A strange shape pulsed in the deep, a perfect half-circle buried in the ocean floor, nearly 900 meters wide. "It's not a rock," Lena whispered. Beside her, sonar tech Raj blinked. "It's giving off a return echo." She leaned closer. That wasn't possible. Sonar only bounced off solid objects. It's this thing it was answering. It was responding to the signal like it was alive. Then, without warning, the screen turned to static. 6 hours earlier, it began as a routine ocean scan. The Mariana 7 was exploring one of the deepest trenches in the Pacific, a place untouched for centuries. New sensor tech had just been deployed, deep sonar drones, able to scan 5 miles down. One of the drones, Echo 9, sent a strange reading. A metallic anomaly buried under the sediment.
Something massive.
It didn't match any geological structure, not even a volcanic one. It could be an old Russian sub.
Someone joked.
But Lena wasn't laughing. They sent Echo 9 closer. It dropped fast, disappearing into the dark. Pressure increased. Cameras adjusted. What it saw changed everything. The object wasn't shaped like a sub. It was smooth, curved, and massive. Too smooth to be natural.
The outer surface had a faint
blue glow, like light trapped under glass. Its hull had lines engraved patterns, almost like writing. And then, the feed cut out. Just static. "Present moment Echo 9 is gone," Raj said, voice tense. No signal, no movement. Lena's stomach turned. "Launch Echo 10. The next drone descended. Cameras on. Data live. Everyone on the Mariana 7 gathered around the screen as Echo 10 approached the object. Static flickered again. But this time, it didn't cut out. This time, the object responded. The screen flashed white. The object, awakened second, began shaking. Its sensors spiked. A low-frequency hum passed through its frame, almost like a voice, speaking without words. The hull of the buried object pulsed with blue energy. "What is it doing?" Raj said. "I think it's scanning us," Lena replied. Echo 10 sent one final image, a close-up of the object's hull. There was a symbol, an eye inside a triangle, surrounded by what looked like ... stars. Then the drone shut down. Dead. Emergency meeting on board. The Mariana 7. The crew scrambled. "This isn't natural," Lena told Commander Brandt. "That thing, it's powered. It's been waiting." Brandt was skeptical. "A machine? 5 miles under the sea? You're saying it's alien? I'm saying it's not Earth-made." They called it in. The UN Defense Council took over. Within the hour, orders were clear. Stay on site, but wait for special support. Arrival of the Abyss team by morning. A new ship arrived, the Abyss 1, a top-secret deep-sea research vessel. Black budget funded, rumored to carry experimental tech. On board were 6 scientists and 1 man with no name badge. It's just a black suit and cold eyes. Lena met them at the docking bay. "We're calling it the anomaly." The lead scientist, Dr. Silva, said, "Your drone data confirms what we suspected." "For years you knew it was here?" Lena asked, stunned. "We've been tracking deep M pulses for decades, but we never got this close." "Then what is it?" Silva looked her in the eyes. "We think it's a spaceship. The dive begins." Later that night, a joint crew launched the first manned descent in the submarine Helios, built for maximum pressure. Resistance. It had cameras, sonar, and 2 robotic arms. Inside were Lena, Silva, and pilot Commander Mako. The sub dropped fast. Outside, darkness swallowed everything. Deeper and deeper they went. At 26,000 feet, visibility was 0. Only the sub's lights showed the way. Then they saw it. The ship. Beneath the ocean, it rose out of the seabed like a buried mountain. Sleek, smooth. Curved lines glinted under the lights. The hull stretched endlessly in every direction. No sharp edges. It looked. Grown, not built. This is not human, Silva said. They hovered above a crack in the hull and entry point. The robotic arms extended. One arm touched the surface. A blue ripple spread from the point of contact. Then a sound echoed through the sub-speakers. A voice, not in any language, just a low, drawn-out hum that shook the windows. Contact did. It just ... speak to us, Lena whispered. The crack in the hull began to widen. The ship was opening. Inside, lights flickered. Blue, white, then red. The interior was made of the same metal, smooth and organic. The floor lit up under the subs. Beam, there's a corridor, Mako said. Looks like it goes ... deeper inside. They sent in the sub-drone. It floated forward. The feed showed chambers like hibernation pods. Camera zoomed in. One of the pods was glowing. The shock, the pod held a humanoid figure tall. Still, eyes. Closed, then ... The eyes opened. The crew gasped. The being inside looked human. It blinked. It was alive. And it was watching them through the drone's camera. Back on the surface, signals from the sub reached the surface. Every ship recorded the event. Lena's voice crackled through the speaker. The ship is not empty. There's something inside. The UN commander on the bridge turned pale. Scramble satellites, he said. Get Washington. Beijing and Geneva online. Now. The deep signal had awoken something, and Earth would never be the same again. Lena didn't blink. The drone feed shook slightly. The air inside the ship seemed thick, like it resisted every move. Is that someone started? It looks human, Raj whispered. No, said Dr. Silva, not quite. The figure didn't move. Its body was still. Skin pale like marble, but the face-strong jaw, angular cheekbones, was almost too perfect. Almost T-engineered. Then without warning, the pod began to hiss. The drone's sensors spiked. The walls around. It lit up with pulses of blue. The pod was opening. Pull the drone back, Lena shouted. The drone reversed, but it was too late. The pod's shell cracked open with a soft shick. A thick mist escaped. The figure inside took a deep breath, then stepped out. Back inside, the alien ship stood over 6 feet tall, humanoid, no clothing, no wires, just a strange, shimmering skin suit that formed from the mist like liquid armor. Its eyes scanned the corridor. Then it looked straight at the drone. No fear, no confusion, just calm. Then it spoke. Not in English. Not in any known language. But somehow, everyone watching understood it. This place is not yours, but I remember you. The lights inside the ship flared bright white. The drone feed blurred, then shut down. Total blackout. Emergency protocol. Lena ran to the deck. Get the Helios back up now. The submarine crew began retrieval. Tension hung in the air. No one spoke. Then, a moment later, a crackling voice echoed through coms. This is Mako. We're ascending. Bode. But something's wrong. What do you mean? Lena asked. 3 of our crew. Gone. Lena froze. Don. What do you mean gone? Hey. Were there 1 second? And the lights flashed hand. They weren't. Their seats are still buckled. Their gear is still here, but they ... just vanished. The debrief 2 hours later, the Helios surfaced. Mako stumbled out, pale and shaken. His voice was raw. I saw it. It touched the drone with its hand. Then the pod behind us lit up. I turned. Around and my crew was gone. No noise, no struggle. Silva watched quietly. It didn't kill them. It moved them. Moved them where? Lena asked. We're inside a ship older than all of human history, Silva replied. More worried about where it came from. The data dumped back on the Mariana 7. Techs pulled what they could from the drone's memory core. Most of the files were corrupted, but one video remained intact. It showed the alien walking through the corridor. As it moved, the ship itself reacted, walls opening, lights following. It was alive. On the walls were symbols, circles, stars, DNA helixes, and behind one wall the drone had scanned a second chamber. More pods, dozens, maybe hundreds. Many were empty. Some, were cracked. And one was glowing just like the first. The truth starts to leak. The news couldn't be contained. Satellite hackers and global AI watchdogs picked up chatter. Across the internet, whispers spread. Alien ship found beneath the ocean. Humans not the first on Earth. Government hiding first contact. Videos leaked. The Mariana 7 was placed under global lockdown, but it was too late. A new name spread like fire online, the Ancients. And everywhere people were asking the same question. Were they?
Yes.
The being speaks again the next day. The alien made contact. Not through a radio. Not through tech. It appeared in the dreams of everyone. Aboard the Mariana VII, Lena saw it clearly. She was standing in the ocean, no water around her. The alien walked toward her across the waves. "You are the continuation," it said. "Are the survivors of our last war." "What war?" she asked. It touched her forehead, and then she woke up. A history not recorded. Silva was waiting in the briefing room. "I saw it too," he said. "So did the others." It didn't just send a message, it showed us memories. Together, the scientists began drawing what they saw in their dreams. A shattered Earth, giant ships fleeing the sky, massive battle in space, cities melting under strange weapons, and finally a ship falling into the ocean, buried, forgotten, until now, the ancient war Colin. That was the name the being gave himself. He appeared before them in a shimmering hologram projected from the ship's core. He stood tall, hands behind his back, voice calm. "We were the first. We were you before the ice, before the Varnock came." He told them of a time when Earth had stretched to the stars. Human empires ruled distant systems. But something came. From the dark, the Varnock, a cold, conquering species. They devoured stars, destroyed planets. The ancients fought back. Many died. In the final days, a fleet left Earth, but not all could escape. One ship, the Aegis, was ordered to stay behind, to protect a genetic vault, to preserve the last human seed, and then Earth froze. The signal was a call. Lena looked at Silva. "So this ship was meant to keep their DNA safe?" "No," Silva said. "It did more than that. It guided evolution. It changed us. Quietly. Secretly. Preparing us." Lena blinked. "For what?" The room darkened. Colin's voice returned. "The Varnock never stopped watching. When your machines found us, what? They heard the signal too. They are coming." On the deck of the Mariana the 7th, Lena stared at Kalin. She could barely believe what she was seeing. This man had slept for over 60,000 years in a spaceship buried beneath the Pacific Ocean, and now was speaking perfect ancient Sumerian. The strange part, when he spoke, everyone understood, not through translation, not through tech, but directly in their minds. "You have grown," he said, walking slowly toward the stunned scientists, "and yet you have forgotten who you were." A nervous young tech whispered, "Is this telepathy?" "No," said Dr. Silva, his voice dry. "It's memory transmission. He's placing his thoughts inside our heads." Kalin stopped. "I am not here to hurt you. I am here to remind you." Then the lights dimmed, and the walls around them lit up with images. Glowing holograms from the ship's memory core. What they saw changed everything they thought they knew about Earth's history. A world before time, the images showed ancient. Earth millennia, before the Ice Age. Cities stood tall, with glass towers stretching into the clouds. Oceans glowed with clean energy. Massive ships flew across the skies. "We were the first humans," Kalin said. "We called ourselves Very, children of soul, born of Earth, but raised among the stars." The Very had discovered faster than light. Travel, they colonized nearby planets. They cured diseases, stopped wars, and tamed nature. For thousands of years, peace reigned until they came. The arrival of the Varnock's next holograms showed dark skeletal ships floating in space, alien, alive, pulsing with red light. The Varnock, A species without emotion, without mercy. They didn't come to conquer. They came to consume. They saw us as a threat, Kalen said, and they erased us. The Vari fought back. Massive space battles lit up the solar system. Earth's moon was cracked. Mars was burned. Cities fell. In the final days, the Vari realized they couldn't win. Their technology was powerful, but the Varnak were endless, so they made a choice. They hid a seed. The Aegis project the ship they found under the ocean. The one Kalen emerged from was part of the Aegis project. Its mission was simple: survive. Kalen and a small group were put into deep cryosleep. Genetic samples, knowledge, all stored in the ship's neural vault. If Earth ever recovered, new humans rose again. The Aegis would awaken and guide them. But something went wrong. The Ice Age buried the ship under miles of ocean. The energy cord dimmed. The connection to orbit was lost. Kalen never woke up. Till now. The truth about humans: you are not our descendants, Kalen said. You are us. Lena's heart pounded. What do you mean? He stepped closer. The Aegis was not just a vault. It was a guide. For 60,000 years, it has been shaping your evolution. Quietly, carefully, nudging DNA, sending signals. You were made to survive. And remember. Why remember? Asked Raj. Kalen looked up at the ceiling where a new image appeared. Massive, black Varnak mothership, slowly moving toward Earth, because the Varnak are returning. The signal was a beacon dar. Silva turned pale. So the signal we triggered? Kalen nodded. It reached them. After all this time, they now know Earth lives. Why would they care? Lena asked. Gaffed. If we're just primitives compared to them? Colin's voice darkened. Because once they feared us, and if you rise again, they will fear you once more. The Aegis had more than memory. It had weapons, technology, a full database of ancient Vari knowledge, but unlocking. It required something specialer. Living human whose DNA matched the ancient line. Everyone turned to Lena. The chosen link tests confirmed it. Within hours, Lena Worth carried a unique strand in her DNA, untouched by 60,000 years of genetic drift. It's a perfect match. She was a descendant of one of the original Vari scientists. The ship responded to her touch. Doors opened. Systems rebooted. Lights turned on that hadn't glowed since before the ice. You are the key, Kalen said. They will come for you first. Unseen movements in the sky that night, global satellites picked up strange movements on the edge of the solar system. Several unknown objects, black, fast, silent, entered from deep space. No transponders. No response. They were on a direct path toward Earth. The military went on full alert. But no one could stop what was coming. Final warning: Collins stood on the observation platform inside the Aegis, gazing at the sea above. You are not children anymore, he said. You are the last memory of a fallen race, and soon you must become its defenders. The holograms around them showed a future Earth burning, broken, unless they acted. Then the ship's alarms went off. A new signal was detected, not from Earth, from orbit. It started in silence. Above the far side of the moon, a black shape drifted slowly into the path of Earth's satellite grid. Radar picked it up for just a second, long enough to cause confusion in mission control. Then, every satellite within 2,000 kilometers of the object blinked offline. No explosions. No trace, just darkness. Then a warning echoed through the Aegis ship's systems along. Low-frequency tone that made every screen on the Mariana 7 flash red. Incoming signal detected. Kalen stepped forward. His voice turned cold. They found us. Dr. Lena Worth stared at the monitors. One of the Varnak vessels was now parked behind the moon watching. Are we being scanned? She asked. No, Kalen said. They already know everything they need. The first dream that night, something terrifying happened. Hundreds of people around the world, military personnel, scientists, Civilians reported the same dream in it. They saw the sky burning, cities cracking open, and massive creatures made. Of black metal hovering above, the Varnak didn't send messages, they didn't speak, they invaded the mind. Raj, still pale from the dream, looked at Lena the next morning. I couldn't move in it, like they were standing on my soul. Others had the same experience? Frozen, terrified, helpless. This is how they begin, Kalen said. They show you what they've already done to 100 worlds, so when they come, you won't even try to fight. Earth response panic spread fast. The UN called an emergency global council. United States, China, Russia, and the European Defense Coalition all raised their DEFCON levels. Fighter jets scrambled. Satellites rebooted in hardened mode. Submarines moved into position, but none of Earth's systems could see the Varnak ships clearly. They moved like shadows, cloaked in a technology no one understood. Wurshtul orbit, surveillance drones, vanished without a trace. Earth's top generals issued a statement. We are not alone. We are not in control, but we are ready. Weren't. Not yet. The ship's revelation inside the Aegis, Lena stood in front of a massive console. Symbols danced in front of her Vari language, ancient and elegant. Somehow, she understood it. She touched a panel, and an ancient hologram flared to life. It showed the original human homeworld, not the Earth they knew, but the Earth of the Vari, cities that floated in the sky, oceans that powered ships, towers that touched the upper atmosphere. Callan joined her, eyes distant. Built wonders, he said, but we built them without fear. That was our mistake. The display changed. It showed the Varnak ships, the size of cities, descending like black insects onto Vari worlds. They did not communicate. They did not negotiate. They simply destroyed. You survived because of the Aegis, Kalen continued, but survival is no longer enough. You must remember who you were and become something more. The Battle of Lunar Command then had happened. The Varnak made their first move. Lunar Commander's only military base on the moon reported strange power fluctuations. Then came static. Then a scream. A black object the size of a stadium had descended silently over the base. And then, single red pulse like a heartbeat vaporized. The entire station. There was no explosion, just light, and then nothing. The Varnak didn't just destroy the base, they erased it. The world panics back on Earth. People stared at their screens in disbelief. The news spread like wildfire. Lunar base destroyed. Unknown force wipes out entire facility. First contact, a silent. War begins. Lena felt the weight of the moment crush her chest. Thousands of lives gone, she whispered. They gave a warning, Kalen said. That's all. Next time they'll hit a city, and we have to stop them, she said. We have to fight. You're not ready, Kalen said. Not yet, but the Aegis can help. The vault unlocks for the first time in over 60,000 years. The Aegis vault opened. Inside were weapons not powered by electricity but by thought. Suits of neural armor. Drones that synced with human minds. Something deeper, genetic tools that could unlock dormant abilities inside the human body. We didn't just store tech, Kalen said. We stored ourselves, our gifts, our knowledge, our instincts, and all of it lives in you. Lena's DNA triggered the vault systems. Earth's best scientists began studying the ancient tools. One device stood out. A neural Cora helmet that allowed a human to control the ship. Like a living nervous system, she reached for it. The first activation. When Lena placed the helmet on her head, the room vanished. She was no longer on the ship. She was inside it. She could feel the engines humming, the walls breathing, the systems waiting for commands. She reached out with her thoughts and doors opened. Lights shifted. Energy flowed. She wasn't just in control. She was part of it, and deep inside the ship's memory, she saw more. Cities on fire, human fleets retreating. The Varnica. Reware. And one final voice crying out into the stars. One day we will rise again. The return of humanity's fire. When Lena removed the helmet, her eyes were glowing. I saw them, she whispered. I saw all of it, and I know what we have to do. Raj and Silva stared at her. What? Raj asked. We fight. She turned to Kalen, awaken the defense systems. Earth's not going down like last time. Kalen smiled. Then the universe is about to remember what it forgot, that humans are not prey. We are the fire they couldn't kill. Lena Worth stood in the ship's main control chamber, staring at a circular platform embedded in the floor. It had just risen from beneath the metal like a slow spinning disc. A soft chime echoed from it. Then words appeared in the air above. It projected in the very language. She didn't need translation. Neural gate access granted, initiating memory link. Dr. Silva and Raj stood frozen beside her. Double quotes. Lena, are you sure about this? Silva asked. No, she said. But if we don't open this, we'll never know what we really are. Colin stepped forward. This is not just memory. It's awakening. This part of the ship was meant to activate only when humanity was ready. Lena took a deep breath, stepped onto the platform, and closed her eyes. The ship responded instantly. The genetic lock, the platform lit up, and tendrils of glowing blue energy wrapped gently around her head. She didn't feel pain, just pressure, like something was reaching into her mind, unfolding it. She was no longer in the control room. She was standing in a memory, not a dream. A memory passed down through genes. She was someone else known. Ancient very woman standing in a city made of crystal and light. Flying ships soared above her. Children laughed. The sky darkened. The Varnock arrived, and they burned everything. The hidden gifts. When Lena opened her eyes, she gasped. Saw it, she whispered. I saw who we were. She looked at her hands, and they were glowing faintly. Not with light, with energy the ship had unlocked. Something inside her, something passed down from the Vari, hidden in human DNA, waiting. Kalen nodded.
Oh.
The Aegis has begun the process. It will search for others like you, others with the dormant spark. You were never just survivors. You are the return. The search for the awakened. Within hours, the ship began broadcasting a low, coded signal across the Earth, not to everyone, just to the right ones. People across the world, scientists, soldiers, even farmers suddenly collapsed in pain. Not from injury, but from activation. Memories not their own flooded in. Skills they never trained for surfaced. Knowledge of machines, tactics, languages long lost returned. They were the awakened. Training begins. The Mariana the 7th was no longer enough. A secret U in base in Antarctica was reactivated. The newly awakened were flown in under heavy security. There, Kalen and Lena trained them using the ship's data cores. They learned to control the neural armor, to use thought-linked weapons, to sync with machines. Raj, who once could barely fire a handgun, now operated a drone fleet with his mind. Others learned to create shields with energy, projected from their own bodies using Vari techniques. And some could interface directly with the ship's systems. The Varnock noticed, but the Varnock were watching. From orbit, they began to shift. One of their black cruisers left the moon's shadow and moved into low Earth orbit. It hovered there, massive, silent and menacing. Lena stood on the icy platform outside the base, staring up at the stars. They're testing us, she said. Colin agreed. They don't understand how much you've changed. That's their mistake. Earth's governments. The UN issued a world broadcast. We've made contact with an ancient ship buried beneath our ocean. The ship is human. Its crew lived before history began, and it carries within it the tools to protect our world. Some nations panicked, others rallied, but one message stood out, broadcast from the Aegis itself, in a signal the Varnock would understand. Earth is awake. We remember. Come and see what we have become. The vault's final secret. Back aboard the Aegis, another section of the ship opened. It was a massive chamber filled with rows of cryopods, most of them empty. Only one was still active. Kalen approached it slowly. This was the commander's pod, he said. She led the last stand against the Varnock. She chose to sleep with us, her mind linked to the ship's final weapon. Lena read the label etched into the pod's surface. Project Leviathan. Is it a ship? she asked. No, Kalen said. It's something more. He placed his hand on the pod and it began to open. A new defender awakens inside the pod. It was a woman, tall, silver hair, eyes closed. But as the mist cleared, her eyes snapped open bright as lightning. She gasped, looked around, and then stared at Lena. You're the key, she said. Then it's time. Time for what? Lena asked. The woman smiled grimly.
To wake the monster.
Deep below the Mariana Trench, something massive moved. The ocean trembled. Lena stood on the observation platform of the Aegis, eyes wide as the central vault opened, completely unleashing a surge of blue energy across the deep. What is that? Raj asked. A shape was rising. A massive form hidden beneath layers of the Aegis hull broke away from the main structure like a shadow. Separating from its body, it wasn't a ship. It was a machine beast. Sleek, dark, alive. Kalen stepped. Beside Lena, that is the Leviathan. Built in the final days, meant to fight alone against an army of darkness, the ship roared. Not with sound, but with energy that cracked the sea around it. Is it alive? Lena asked. Colin's answer was soft. In a way, it's part machine, part human instinct, and part something else. The Leviathan launched silently from the trench, straight into the sky. It rose like thought powered by systems lost to time. Above, the Varnock watched. Below, humanity prepared for its first strike in 60,000 years. The commander turns a silver-haired woman from the cryopod, now dressed in Vari neural armor, walked through the Aegis like she never left it. Name? Lena asked. Commander Aerosol, you led the last defense. Urs nodded, and I failed. That's why I chose to sleep. To return only when your kind was ready to stand again. Lena looked her in the eyes. I think we're ready. Urs didn't smile. Then we make them bleed. Global broadcast all around Earth. People gathered in homes, shelters, and command centers. Fear sat heavy on every face. Then Lena appeared on screens worldwide. Her voice, calm, clear. To everyone watching, this is not a drill. We have confirmed the presence of an enemy force in Earth's orbit. They are not human. They are the ones who ended the first civilization. But today, we are no longer blind. We are no longer unarmed. We are no longer alone. Behind her, the Aegis lit up. And then the Leviathan appeared in the sky, soaring silently over the ocean, glowing like a star reborn. They came for our silence. They will find our fury. The Varnock strike without warning, a Varnock cruiser. Moved, it left the moon's shadow and entered low Earth orbit in less than 2 minutes, undetected by radar. It's invisible to visual scans. Then, above the Pacific Ocean, it opened. From its belly came a swarm of needle-shaped drones, thousands of them raining down at hypersonic speed. Their target, the Aegis. The battle begins from the surface of the ocean. The Leviathan launched like a missile. It twisted through. The falling swarm, moving like a serpent of steel. Its skin shimmered with defense fields. Its eyes glowed blue. It opened fire. But its weapons didn't shoot bullets or lasers. It used thought-formed energy Vard light weapons that curved midair, split into dozens, and exploded like stars. The first wave of Varnock. Drones vanished in bursts of silent light. Lena joins the fight inside the Aegis. Lena suited up. The neural armor clung to her like second skin. She stepped onto the control pad and linked with the Leviathan's secondary weapon systems in seconds. She was inside its mind. She saw what it saw, felt what it felt. She could move with it, direct. Fire, reroute power with just a thought. This is incredible, she whispered. You are one with the weapon, Eris said. I'll show them the fire they forgot. Raj's stand Raj, inside the Aegis drone bay. Activated Earth's first reawakened defense swarm, 30 Vari drones, each armed with light projectors, connected to Raj's neural link. They're fast. He said, they're yours. Kalen replied. The drones launched. For the first time in 60,000 years, Earth's sky was filled with Vari machines, sleek, alive and deadly. Space Breach second Varnak cruiser descended. It fired not lasers, not missiles, gravity weapons. Space bent around its ship. A building in Tokyo collapsed. Tides shifted. Glass shattered in New York from nothing. We're losing containment, shouted a military general from ground command. Lena didn't wait. She pushed forward in the Leviathan's mind and fired the Nova Core. A single pulse of compressed starlight erupted from the Leviathan's chest. The beam struck the Varnak, cruiser dead center, and for the first time in known history. A Varnak ship exploded. The world watches from Earth's surface. People looked up and saw streaks of light tearing across the sky. It wasn't fireworks, it was a war. And for the first time, they saw that humanity wasn't helpless. They saw Vari, weapons moving like magic, ships that didn't fly, they flowed. Shields that bent bullets. Humans standing toe-to-toe with monsters from the stars and the streets. People began to cheer. Across the net, one phrase spread like wildfire. We're back. Victory, for now the swarm was destroyed. The Varnak cruiser had fallen. Second. Retreated back behind the moon. For now, inside the Aegis, Lena removed her neural helmet. Her body trembled. Is it over? She asked. Ari shook her head. No, that was just a scout. The real fleet hasn't arrived. Then we buy time, Lena said. We train. We build. We awaken every one of us we can. And when they return? Raj asked. Lena's voice was cold steel. We don't run. We don't hide. This time, they find a planet full of Vari, and we fight. It began with silence. Satellites over Neptune lost signal. Then Pluto. Then the edge of the Kuiper Belt went dark. Earth's most advanced telescopes picked up something terrifying. Shadows. Hundreds of them. Not comets. Not asteroids. Ships. VAR, NAK warcraft, the real fleet were entering the solar system. More than anyone had imagined? More than Earth could count? Raj stared at the screen. That's not an attack fleet. No, Commander Eris said grimly. That's an extermination force. The panic returns global networks lit up in seconds. Massive alien fleet approaching solar system, Varnak Armada confirmed. This is the end of Earth. Across every continent, panic spread. Some ran, some prayed, some prepared for war. But inside the Aegis, Lena stood still. She didn't panic. She didn't cry. She connected to the ship and whispered one word. Awaken. Earth Proporoscolon activated the final protocols. Vari satellites rose from the ocean floor, silent watchers buried long ago. Hidden Vari tech began to pulse in. Ancient vaults beneath the Sahara, Antarctica, and the Himalayas sealed away in the final days of the First Era. Commander Eris took control of global defense coordination. You have less than 5 days, she told the world's leaders. When they reach Earth orbit, they won't talk. They'll burn. And they will not stop until this planet is silent again. The signal unlocks. Meanwhile, Lena stepped into the ship's heart chamber, a room no one had entered since the Vari's fall. At its center was a single, floating object. The core beacon. It was a transmitter unlike any built by modern science. It didn't send signals across space. It sent them across time. This is the final signal, Kaylin explained.
Oh.
A one-time broadcast. To anyone who once stood with us, if there are any Vari survivors among the stars, this will call them home. Lena hesitated. What if no one answers? Kaylin looked away. Then we fight alone. The broadcast. Lena placed her hand on the beacon. The room lit up. Her memories poured into the signal images of Earth, of her people, of the battle of the Leviathan, of hope. Then the beacon pulsed, flared white, vanished, consumed in the transmission across the galaxy. Ancient Vari, tech long dormant, hidden on forgotten planets, blinked back to life, across the stars. Somewhere in deep space, a derelict Vari battleship drifted, forgotten. Its systems flickered, its AI blinked, then its engines ignited for the first time in 60,000 years. The message was clear. Earth's lives, and it is under attack. The last line of defense back on Earth, more humans were awakening. the genetic signal. Inside, the Aegis reached its peak, activating dormant Vari DNA in people across the planet. Farmers in Brazil, doctors in Kenya, students in Canada, and then hundreds, then thousands received visions. They remembered skills they never learned: combat training, ship repair, weapon use. These were not superpowers. They were recovered memories. The Vari had left behind humanity's hidden potential, and now it was returning. The armory opens inside the Aegis. The final chamber unlocked. Inside it stood the ether frame's very mix-suits, powered by light, motion, and memory. 10 of them. Only 10 ever made. Eris walked beside Lena. These were used in the final charge during the Fall of Soul. Only the strongest pilots could survive the mental link. Lena stepped forward. Her neural field synced instantly. One of the frames responded, opened, and accepted her. Designation accepted. Worth Prime. Neural lock engaged. Ready for war. The countdown begins. Varnok's ships cross the orbit of Jupiter. In less than 40 hours, they would reach Earth. Commander Eris gathered the awakened. Their number now reached 3,000. Some trained in weaponry. Others piloted drones. Some simply stood as shield generators, amplifying defenses with their minds. And 10 pilots, including Lena, stepped into their ether frames. "We will not run," she said to the team. "We will not hide. We are Vari, and we are done sleeping." The Leviathan's upgrade Raj worked around the clock, upgrading the Leviathan's systems using ancient Vari code fragments. He found a dormant function or final weapon that hadn't been activated. "This isn't a cannon," he told Silva. "It's a fold weapon. It bends space and time inside a small area. Instant erasure." Silva blinked. "Like a black hole?" "No," Raj said. "Like a trap. You can bait one of the Varnok capital ships into it. If it works, we might have a shot." A global message. Lena broadcasted one final message across the Earth. Her voice echoed from every screen. "They're coming, and you may feel powerless. But you're not. If you're human, if you've ever felt like something ancient burns inside you, then you're one of us. Stand, fight, and remind the stars who we really are." The fleet arrives 30 hours later. The sky turned black. Varnok ships arrived in orbit. Massive, silent, cruel. Some were city-sized, and others were biological and shape-twisting. Screaming engines. The moon was blotted out by their numbers. They did not message. Earth, they did not respond. They simply opened. The invasion began. Above the atmosphere, the Varnok descended. Thousands of ships, spinning, silent, cold. No warnings, no diplomacy, no pause. They moved in one single action: eradication. One of the Varnok capital ships, Miles, wide, hovered directly over the Pacific. It emitted a deep, pulsing tone. The ocean below began to tremble. "It's a gravity bore," said Commander Eris. "They're trying to crack the planet open." Lena, inside her glowing silver ether frame, floated above the clouds in sync with the Leviathan. Her hands gripped the neural controls. Her voice was steady. Not this time. The Leviathan let out a rising hum, its core spinning faster than ever before. Then, with a thunderclap that shattered clouds, Earth struck back. The battle for Eartha. Leviathan launched upward, slicing through the clouds like a burning comet. Behind it flew the 10 ether frame pilots each, surrounded by flickering energy fields. In space, Earth's ancient Vari satellites, reawakened and armed, fired there. First shots. Bright beams of Vari light slammed into the lead Varnok cruiser, but it didn't fall. Its armor absorbed the energy, bending it like liquid. The ether frames closed the distance. Lena was the first to strike. Her armor lit up, blades of solid plasma extending from her wrists. She dove toward the cruiser's surface and tore into its outer hull. The ship screamed not from speakers, but from its living walls. Inside her helmet, Lena heard it. Not words, emotion, hate, hunger, rage. She pushed harder. The awakened joined in down on Earth. The 3,000 awakened fought a different kind of war. Varnok drones rained from the sky, sharp, fast and mindless. But the awakened weren't helpless, using Vari shields, energy weapons, and mental coordination. They formed human defensive circles across the globe. In Brazil, an awakened farmer directed a squad of light drones with just his thoughts. In Egypt, a teenage girl raised an energy dome over her village as Varna claws hammered down. In Tokyo, a former soldier activated a hidden Vari turret and took down 4 drones in 5 seconds. Across the planet, humanity wasn't just surviving, it was evolving Raj's trap high above Earth. Raj piloted the fold trap system on the Leviathan. Varnak capital ship, the same one initiating the gravity Borbig, and descending lower, closer to the Pacific. This is it, he told Lena Overcomes. We have one shot. The Leviathan flew low, luring the cruiser. Raj activated the fold trap. The moment the capital ship crossed the invisible boundary, the trap triggered. Space bent. Time slowed. Light stretched. And in a flash, the center of the Varnak cruiser collapsed. Inward, the ship imploded, its hull crushed into a perfect sphere of black nothing. Confirmed kill, Raj said. Breathless, the Varnak queen, but it wasn't over. From behind the largest cruiser, something emerged, larger, older, a Varnak queen. Twisting tendrils, a shell of living armor, red lights like eyes. It didn't speak. Its presence was overwhelming. The Leviathan's sensors went wild. Lena Kalin warned. That's the one that led the extinction of the Vari. She's come to finish what she started. Aris joined Lena above the atmosphere in her own frame then. Let's make her remember who we are. The final clash, the Queen moved fast. Possibly fast. Tendrils of black energy whipped across space, slamming into the Leviathan. The ship shook, but didn't fall. Lena and Eris flew in a spiral pattern, dodging strikes, returning fire with compressed light bursts. The Queen adapted quickly. It formed shields, projected illusions, sent psychic feedback into Lena's mind. Pain bloomed behind her eyes. You okay? Raj asked. I've got her attention, Lena gritted. Help me. Keep it. The other ether frame pilots joined, surrounding the Queen like fireflies around a black sun. Together, they attacked. The human memories surged back on Earth. Something strange began to happen. More people started awakening.
Not 3,000.
Not 10. Millions. The Aegis signal had reached full global strength. The final evolution of the Vari code had activated across every nation. Humans began to feel connected. They weren't alone in their bodies. They felt history. They felt each other. And they felt the Queen. Lena, inside her frame, gasped. Can feel them, she said. Everyone, they're with us. She opened a communication channel across the global net. To every awakened human, lend me your will, just for one strike. Let's end this together. The human pulse, then it happened. Billions of minds, SYNCED. Not perfectly, not forever, but enough. Enough to form one single pulse of emotion, hope. Anger, grief, fire channeled through Lena's body into her frame. The frame lit up the Leviathan. Roared in a beam of human emotion shaped by ancient technology. Fired directly into the Queen's core. The blast tore through her armor. She screamed and exploded after math silence. The remaining Varnak ships paused. Some fled, some fell to Earth, lost without leadership. Humanity stood. The skies cleared. The Leviathan powered down and descended back into the ocean. The ether frames returned to Earth, scorched and battered but alive. Lena collapsed on the landing pad of the Aegis. Eris helped her up. You did it, Eris said. No, Lena said quietly. We did. The Vari returned 1 week later, long range. Sensors picked up a new signal. A ship. Design. Then a second, then 50. The signal Lena had sent had been heard from the edges of the galaxy. Surviving Vari colonies hidden for millennia began to return. Earth was no longer just a world of survivors. It was the homeworld. Again, one final message. Lena stood before the camera. The world watched. They thought they ended us. They buried us beneath time, beneath water, beneath fear. But we remembered, and we rose. We're Vari. We are human, and we are never going to sleep again.